Legacy Core Breakers program is just as the name implies, a groundbreaking program providing a much-needed break to family caregivers, breaking through barriers with respite caring. We believe that with some support from a caring older person,
too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around.
Never doubt that a small group of committed people can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.
My first step into the house, I saw papers, stacks and stacks. I thought, we need to do a lot of shredding here. But after 2 hours of concentrated effort, sorting and shredding, it seemed we hadn't made any headway. The prospect of doing this week after week seemed daunting. Well, I looked around the rooms for the first time, and on the walls of the dining room and the living room, I saw all these beautiful plaques, wall plaques, depicting scenes from, I would guess, just about every state in the United States, and also from foreign countries. So I said to Bob, how would it be if I cleaned, washed those plates and the walls? He said, fine. Since I'm in relatively good health, I feel that I ought to contribute something, do something with that health, helping other people who are less fortunate. It's also very interesting to meet all these new people. So the next time I took off a section of the plates, and while I was doing that, he asked me where I had come from originally, since he detected a slight accent. I told him I grew up in Germany, southwest Germany, and after a while he said, you must have grown up there during the Second World War. That was true. So he asked me about some of my experiences. Without really thinking, I said, in 1945, a large part of my hometown was destroyed in one bombing that lasted 23 minutes. After a while, Bob told me that he had been stationed during that time in southern England. He was a gunner on a bomber crew that flew bombing missions over Germany. And then he added, if it was my plane that destroyed your hometown, I am really, truly sorry. I was speechless. I started to think, just a few minutes ago, we had been strangers. And with one sentence, the whole situation had changed. Suddenly, although we had been on opposite sides of the war, it seemed to me that we were old acquaintances. We had so many things in common that we could share. I felt much better, and I went on with my work. Every so often, when I returned a nice clean plaque to the wall, Bob would tell me about how he and his wife had purchased that certain plaque during one of their vacations. And he kept on doing that. I felt that although he had lost his wife not even a year earlier, he really enjoyed talking about the past, about the good times with his family. Suddenly, I remembered how we had been taught in our training sessions how important, how beneficial reminiscing is for a client. Here, I had got my client, Bob, to talk about all the good things in the past without my even trying to. And I was very happy that one ordinary task, such as wiping the walls, could have such a wonderful effect, not just for Bob, but also for me.
I used to be a patient person, you know, and when you start working with them, you know, there's things that they want things done perfectly, and like how they want it, and it's like you gotta do that, because you know, if it was you would want things perfectly. I used to build things like a long time ago, you know, middle school, you know, entering high school. I did do like carpentry stuff with my uncles and stuff like that. So I was kind of used to it. But the porch, I was kind of, it sounded impossible, you know, with 4 people. So
then when we first started doing it, it was like I kind of got used to it, and I was like, this is how it feels when you like really working.
But he had everything laid out. He had his blueprint laid out and the exact measurements of things he wanted. So it was kind of easy in a sense, and plus he made it easy. You know, he's a real family guy, so it was a good experience though, because you know it came out the way, almost exactly the way he wanted to.
It was my very first thing I ever built, and it was a lot of work, and it takes time.
It gives me a relaxing feeling, you know, especially when you're done with it, because like, you know, it just pops in your head, you know, I just helped somebody, you know, do something that they probably couldn't have done by themselves, and then when you tell somebody about what you're doing, you know, most people, it's like, you know, they're just amazed that, you know, oh, you're doing this, like, you know, it's a big thing, but it's not. All you got to do is, you know, get started, get involved. So.
Because of my past career, I was considered to be a hard-nosed guy, and I never even thought about volunteering to something like this until I did. And I found out that it has changed me. I am more patient now at home. My relationship at home with my kids, my wife has changed. And this is all thanks to this program. And I really mean that. I know that it was because of what we did in this program. I learned that I didn't have to be the hard nose that I was for 37 years. It's not fair to know or to see these seniors, these old people, just wasting away at home without any outside contacts. People don't know about it. I'd like to recommend this to any retired law enforcement guy, because when we retire from a law enforcement position, you're always on the defensive. You don't trust anyone. You're angry. There's a lot of hostility within, because this is the first time that I really worked with people from the public without having to question them, without having to handcuff anyone. That's a big difference. That's what has changed inside of me. I said, well, I don't have to be hostile. You know, I don't have to accept any abuse. They don't give any abuse. I take care of them. I watch for their safety, and it's very rewarding to see that there's another side to other people that have worked in law enforcement for a long time. We came here and he had some lumber because he had been trying to build a patio cover. But because of his wartime illnesses, he gets tired right away. So we decided to tackle that work. Even though I've never been a carpenter, the kids, they didn't even know how to use a hammer. We decided, let's go for it. So he told us, of course, Mr. Bustamante was here all the time showing us how to do things. He did all the drawing and the measuring, and he just told us how to do it. We built it within 3 visits. We finished it within three or four visits. I can't remember. Not only that, after we finished that, we all got together and removed the old existing cover on one side. And Mr. Bustamante was in there all the time, supervising. Now it's all decorated. His wife has put all kinds of decorations, and there's electricity in it. They got lights, and there was something that, in the long run, Mr. Bustamante would have done it, but we felt that it was kind of risky for him to do it by himself.